You know what's funny? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I started 20 minutes ago and I didn't hit go live. Ah! Ow! Ow! Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the office hour. How are you doing tonight? Oh, okay, that's off to a bang. Yeah, that's off to a good start. Everybody's so nice. Now the Discord is starting to pop off, and this is so funny. I was literally like, man, this is a low. This is a low night, man. There's like 5, 6 people. Just realize I didn't even hit start stream. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the office hour. I'm your host, Alex63501. As usual, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But tonight, what we're going to be doing is just hanging out, chatting with everybody now that I'm actually live. Yeah, rough. There we go. I'm finally live, though. I don't know if that was archived. If you can see it later, that'll be funny. If that's on the video, if that was actually recorded in there, that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, it begins. What's up, Tapper? What's up, okay, Anna? Good to see you. Sid C, an absurd kitten. I'm finally live. I'm here. It's going down. Bobby, what's cracking? What's cracking? All right, now the energy's going. Now we're going. I'm gonna hit you back with my intro theme song here. Yes, yes. Now we're doing good. Sort of backtrack a little bit here. What's going on today is we're just gonna be hanging out, answering questions that y'all have. I've got a massive backlog of comments and questions and awesome suggestions in Discord. I'm gonna be cycling through those, talking about those. Probably not gonna do this Chat GPT song that I did 20 minutes ago. So if that was y'all's, I hope it got recorded, because that was pretty silly. But if you want to see that, I'll show you this Chat GPT song too. It's pretty funny. Somebody put that in the Discord. So, got a new setup here, but I got the bass, I got the microphones, you can see hanging down here. Hopefully the levels are okay. Let me know if I'm too loud, too quiet, all that kind of good stuff. But, without further ado, let's jump into what I started doing like 20 minutes ago. And see if I can do it better the second time, or if it's going to be about the same. So, we're jumping in here with Discord first, and we're just in the general chat section. We're just looking through people's comments and just discussions, all that kind of good stuff, saying hi to people who've joined the chat, or who've joined the Alex63501 Discord channel. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. But yeah, we're just going to be chilling, and if y'all have any suggestions for anything, or any ideas on how I can make some money off of YouTube, because it's kind of hard to do that, hit me up. We'll be good to go. All right, so first here, shilling myself here, we got our Tokyo Sniper. This was the Ryun Senkei song that came out 2006, 2008. Anyway, it's a neo city pop group. Highly recommend it. Very, very cool group. Got a lot of love here from a lot of people. Got S. Thank you very much for the love there. And yes, that was his quarantine jam. It's a dope album. It's definitely worth checking out. I think the whole album is called Tokyo Sniper. So go check it out. Very cool. Steph, good to see you again. Thank you very much for the kind words. Prank was the person who gave us the idea for the Ryuichi Sakamoto album, The Thousand Knives of Ryuichi. Thank you again. That was an awesome album. I've gotten so much feedback from friends, family, Discord, who all really liked that album and all had some personal connection or something to talk about there. Very, very cool. All right, Dapper, one of our good homies. Good to see you. Always checking in. I was going to say, you're right here in our chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. So here's our little, here's the Chat GPT song that if y'all are interested in, I'll come back and talk about this for a second. The short version is, don't be afraid of Chat GPT taking over the music industry anytime soon. All right, and then Prank giving us some more information about Ryuichi Sakamoto. So again, those of you who have not seen our Alex6501 Discord chat, I don't think I put a link in the description yet, but if you check out one of the other videos, there's lots of links to the Discord in there. And I'll update the video later to have more information at the bottom to make sure everything's good. Hey, what's up, Aaron Crab? Yes, I am back. I don't know how to use my gear, but I'm back. Sumatai, what's up? Metropolitan Music Man, I'm blessed. Blessed by your presence. Go check out that guy's channel. It's absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good playing. Good stuff. Okay, so going back to the Discord here, we got Quentin joining in. Wonderful. A Wild T appears. Welcome. I think it's just like cutting off your name. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. Oh, kind words from Mark. Oh, here we got the question of, is Alex actually in Steely Dan? And I do have to say from this photo right there, yes, I am. I am Steely Dan. All of Steely Dan is me. Confirm. There's. All right. Oh, when is the meme room? I think my entire life is a meme room. So just dump them anywhere. Here we go. Here's what. Her probably thinking about another girl. Him. I missed the Alex635. I love you guys. There was a meme in here a while. I want to see if I can find it because it was cracking me up. I want to know who made this because I just was losing it. It was yeah, this one right here. When you beat the "he isn't coming back" allegations, that meme hit different. I appreciated that one. That got the happy pug. In fact, I'm gonna give that one more. Look at that. I'm gonna give it to Kirby. That's a stamp of approval right there. Oh, you're too kind. Too kind, Metropolitan Music Man. Oh, it's team effort, baby. It's team effort. Ooh, Ooga Booga Booga. What's up? You said in your return video that you were finishing up your doctorate. What was your thesis about? Get your crazy tinfoil hats on. My thesis was on musical cryptography in connection with a piece written by Alfred Schnittke and a book written by Thomas Mann called Dr. Faustus. That sentence just made me tired. The long and short of it is, through a whole bunch of crazy person nonsense and research, I think I did a good job of proving that this composer wrote a piece and cryptographically hid his name into the piece of music because he loved this book so much. It's kind of like going and listening to the first album of your favorite artist who is now dead and has been dead for 40 years. It was never that big to begin with, but you're like, man, this guy loved He-Man Masters of the Universe. Loved it. He watched it every single day of his life. He loved it. No one talks about how it influences music. I bet it influenced his music, and that's what I did, was go through and be like, why would he be influenced by this, huge... It was such a big book. Dr. Faustus by Thomas Mann. I thought it was going to be a novella. I thought it was going to be like 100 pages. It's 550 pages of the thinnest, tiniest print text translated from German. Very good book. If you're a reader and you got a lot of time to think, check it out. But that's what it was about. If you're super interested, I'll send you a copy. It's like 50 pages of crazy. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for asking. Much appreciated. Musical cryptography. Yeah. Hey, Bobby got it covered. Man, see y'all. They don't even have to go into all that explanation. Bobby got me covered. Concise. I love it. Okay, what else we got in here? Ooh, Alexis, good to see you again. Another long time. Alex6351, one of the founders, I do believe, back there in the olden days. Back when the episodes with no audio and bad audio. Today was an episode with no audio or video. See, I'm right back in it. I got this. I love you playing. Oh, I love you playing. Hey, thank you, an absurd kitten. Do you have any advice for memorizing songs more efficiently when playing gigs? Yeah, very good. Good question. Well, I guess I would begin by asking you how you think about it whenever you're learning a piece, because there's many different approaches. Some people going from the traditional, kind of going up the gradient to the non-traditional. Some people have sheet music where it's the notes and those little blackheads and circles with the lines and all bars, all that kind of stuff, and you're looking at all of that information. There's a whole way of going about it from there where you have memorization techniques and patterns that you're looking for. You could be doing tablature where you learn your music, so you're looking at numbers of 5s and 7s and 3s, all that kind of stuff along these little fake strings in front of you. There's strategies for that. And then there's lots and lots of different ways, but the other major one would be doing it by ear or just getting the approximate feel vibe of what's going on. So if you're talking about doing gigs, my guess is it's more likely going to be over on this side where you're doing things by ear, you're doing it approximate. For the simple fact, if you're doing like a bar gig and you got to play for 4 hours, memorizing 4 hours of note perfect, exactly what's on the recordings, that's a lot to do and is really not going to be noticed by anybody unless somebody's a massive fan of the instrument you're playing and is just laser watching you the entire time. But what I would do, or my suggestion, is to figure out the general key that you're in with the song and feel comfortable operating in that key. So let's just say, for the sake of the example, let's pick A. We're going to do A minor. So there's my open A. I like to have, and again, this is a 5-string, which is, I know, terribly confusing for a teacher. This is a low B string. Ignore it completely. I use it as a finger rest. I really love having just a little bit extra finger room there. But this is my E, A, D, G. So if I'm in A minor, I'm going to come up here, same note, A, and I'm going to do an A minor scale. Just with that now, if I know, and the song's in A minor, I can just play pretty much any of these notes and know that I'm going to be in at least a safe, quote unquote, zone, and I know where I am. So if you know that the first chord of it is an A, then you're good. If the next one or the first chord's a D, you can hop over. Now, this brings us to our next memorization helper, knowing where the notes are. And this is something that I'm not super good at, that I wish I need to get better at. But saying that we're in A, for me, I know where my A's are on the instrument, and so then I can start noodling, or for bass, doing octaves, our favorite thing ever. Can do things like that, and if you're panicked and you're like, I don't know what this song is, and they're like, it's an F, you're like, E, F, and you're like, I hope this works until I figure out where I am. Things like that. But as far as memorizing goes, once you have that, you know what your key is, and you know if there's a key change in the piece or if there's some, big other thing, the next thing I would do is look for chunks, repeatable patterns. So in pop music, that would be things like the verse or the chorus. Those are two of the most commonly repeated chunks of music that if you think of any piece of, any song, that is going to be, it's going to cut your music. I'm saying this so dumb. What I'm trying to say is if you think about these chunks, instead of having to memorize a whole 4-minute piece, now you're memorizing 1.5 minutes of music, and you're repeating it multiple times. Let me show you an example, which will make much more sense than me rambling over here. And we're going to go to the new theater mode. Welcome to my home theater. It's exactly like this in real life, real size. Okay. So if we come over here now, we look at, and again, gonna shill myself for a moment because I need money. Not from you guys. You guys give me love. That's all I need. Hey, look who's live. But I am gonna start a merch store. Why don't you guys check that out? Okay, let's use a popular one here. So Daydream by Tatsuro Yamashita. You guys, a lot of people will know that. Let's go into Flat.io here. Let's go into full screen so we can see that whole thing. And let's go find, I can't even remember what I just said now. What did I say, Daydream? Yeah, Daydream. So if we look at Daydream, scroll down. Where's Daydream? I'm sure I passed it already and everyone's screaming in chat. You fools. There it is. 2 years ago. Man, it has been a minute. Oh, look at this. Look at what they did to my boy. They took my play along video. It's cold-blooded. All right, off topic here. So, getting back on. If we look at this first section here. Four measures. That almost exactly repeats here. Bump, the dum dum, da da dum, ba da da dum, da ba da bum, da dum dum, da da dum, ba bum ba bum ba bum bum. Again, dun dun, da da dun, ba 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 da bum. A little variation. It's a little different, but again, if you just played the instead of the, let's see. Things like that. Oh, I guess that's a transition. That was a terrible example. But the point is, these tiny deviations between 2-3-2 or 3-2-3, something like that, really in the great scheme of things is not gonna matter. It matters for stuff like this, where I am trying to exactly like a crazy person notate for historical educational purposes what's going on in this piece. Because for this, I don't think it's important at all to play any music that is, that doesn't have this defined, here's the music, go play it. It's just music I made, somebody else, enjoy it. To have the music in front of you allows people to see into your creativity, into your imagination, to understand, like, whoa, how on earth would you play that line? That's impossible. And then through figuring it out here, you start to see these hand patterns of like, oh, you're thinking in 4 frets in a hand instead of 3 frets in a hand, or you're thinking 5 frets in a hand, or, all these different things. That's what's really helpful about this. But the big thing is, as we're scrolling through, here's our B section. And so now we've got new stuff. Now we're back right here. So now this is that same section again where we've got that all the same stuff repeated. Let me give you an even more extreme example. And then I promise I'll get off this topic because I see that there's a lot of other people chatting in there and I want to answer your questions. And I am horrible about getting stuck on one thing. But I'm still going to stay stuck on this one thing just to show you guys. Because I want to find that other Tatsuro song, Bomber. Here we go. This song is pretty much one riff. It is this riff. Will you not play? Oh my goodness. I love you too. Listen to that fat bass. So what that is this. So. And you can see right here, or above me over there, that this has this 10-9-7. That's just an ornament. same thing, it's just adding a little spice and flavor. But almost this entire song is that plus this one little interlude. And then over and over and over. Another good one, Silent Screamer. Great song. Almost, I think the entire song is just that. So, my suggestion to you, to recap, figure out what key you're in, know if it changes around a bunch so you can be prepared for that, and then look for patterns. And within that, once you find the basic pattern of the song, then you can start expanding, add fills, start listening to the song, do exactly what's in the song. But other than that, last thing is decide what your feel is going to be, your vibe. If it's going to be straight, bouncy. So straight means 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 versus swung 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. It's got that looser feel, funky, pop slapping, aggressive, hung back. Okay, there's my explanation over answer. All right, let's go back to the chat here and see what else we got. So, yes, Bobby, forgot about the good audio, bad audio, no audio joke. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the early days of Wake and Bass, please go check them out. Do not watch the entirety of the videos. I would not do that to my worst enemy. Just because if you've seen them once, that's enough. It's good, and I love you guys for participating through that, but I'm just so horrified at how bad my production and how rambly I still am, but especially back then how bad it was. And those of you, yeah, Bobby from the beginning, he knows. I made a commercial talking about it. Go check it out on the channel. I think all those episodes are still available. If they're not, let me know. All right, the plight of the 5-string players. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mike? Good to see you. Thanks for the love. I miss y'all too. You guys are so nice to me. So nice. Merch. Yes. There is merch. There's going to be merch. Let me see if I can give y'all a little bit of a preview here. Make sure that I'm not blowing up anybody on the internet here. I'm just going to give you one sample. One sample. And let's see if I can get that here. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll do that. And then we'll go back to this. But then I'll come over here. And what I'm going to do is go here. And you can't see anything of what I'm doing. So this is probably very annoying. But then I do that. And then I grab this giant picture that I didn't know was going to be so giant. The resolution is amazing. Oh, when it gets there. Oh, crap, the wrong one. When it gets there, oh boy. We're getting close. It's so big. It's so big. Oh, we're getting there. I'm so glad you guys like me. This is so ridiculously song. There it is! Yay! So this is still too big. There we go. This is one of several new pieces of amazing art I had commissioned for me that I just have to say I could not be happier. They got my shoes right. And the bass is perfect. That bass is like exactly right. So, on top of this and a couple other things, such as we're going to be doing the Wake and Bass mug, Flame On, Alex6501, have that in there. There's some other art, other images, things like that. But if you guys have some ideas for something you'd like to see on a t-shirt or a mug, you let me know. I live to serve. All right. Now, let's get back to the old Discord chat here. Okay. Pre-office hours jitters. Yeah. Forgetting to start your stream is always just amazing. Okay, back in here. Like what? VHS copies of your Wake and Bass commercial? It's funny you should say that because You guys know me too well. That's my aesthetic, man. I'm going for that VHS feel. And man, psychic, Bobby. You're just psychic, homie. You know exactly what I'm thinking. Mm. All right, yeah. It's like Tatsuro's from his Opus collection. Yeah, it's crazy. I got taken down. Yeah, I know. So, he was talking about Tatsuro songs on there. So with this program that I use, Flat.io, you can sync up a song with the tab, which is nice because you can play along. But you have to pick a YouTube video, and it's just like you're rolling the dice. A video, because the one I picked for Tatsuro were videos that have been up for years, at least 2 years. But I guess he got more popular. Maybe his music got purchased, or he's doing a live tour or something. Who knows? But it got taken down. It gets struck all the time. And Metropolitan Music Man, fantastic, creator, just like me, does the same kind of stuff. He's just in the chat, whoa, going, yeah, I had to deal with the same thing, getting your stuff pulled down. So, if there's ever a song that you thought I did and you don't see the video anymore, because I try to be really good about making sure everything stays up, but if something's missing, send me a message. I will either send you a link to the private video so you can have it, or go to Flat.io. So if you go to flat.io, chill. It's free. Don't worry, it's free. You can check out all my tabs, and I try to keep those also up to date with videos that work, so you can play along with the video in addition to hearing the MIDI and all that other stuff. So. Cool. All right. I think I got through all of those comments there. So let's go into some other areas. Yeah, it was the playback vid, not my actual cover. Thank goodness. Here was a question that I wanted to talk about. Let's go back to the Discord here for a second, and let's see if I can even. Can I just like shift enter to make this go up? You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm making the biggest comment box ever, just so that we can do. Oh wait. I'm such a weenie. I could just change my screen, but I don't want it, so I did this. All right, Duke said, so I learned the hard way that if your dispute does not go through in your favor, then you get hit with a copyright strike. So it's probably best to just not ever risk disputing it and accept sometimes the video you worked hard on is gone. Yes and no. So with the copyright stuff on YouTube, it's squirrely, is the short answer for it. But the options, as I understand them right now, if once you get detected with a copyright claim, the bot automatically has all the metadata of what the copyright holder wants to do with the material. I would say 80% of cases are, hey, you're using stuff that I own, I being Sony Records or BMG. So I want you to know, I know you're using that stuff. You're not going to make any money off of it. All that goes to me, all your ad revenue. But you get to keep it up. No problem from over here. We're just going to take your money. And it's like, all right, well, that's frustrating, but okay, fine. Fair enough. It is your music. Nobody would come look at my content if your thing didn't exist, to be fair. But since I'm doing it for educational purposes, when the bots inevitably will pull things down and say, hey, you can't use this at all because it violates the, you're just playing our music. Because that will happen sometimes where it doesn't claim it and say, hey, we know what you're doing, it's okay, or like, it's our music, we're fine with it. A lot of times the bots will just go, this is a copyrighted piece of music. We have no licenses on record at YouTube, and we're not getting sued. So you cannot show this in all these countries, and it's like every single country in the world except for 3. So whenever that happens, that's when I always go in and do a dispute. Now, I'm talking about disputing things that I do, Metropolitan Bassman does. I think that's what Duke is referencing here, is talking about, oh yeah, don't forget about the office hours. Oh my goodness, what happened? I've like completely ruined Discord now. Oh, there we go. Fixed it. Back on topic. Talking about people doing what we do where we're making tabs for pre-existing songs. I always argue for educational purposes. And when I write my thing out, I say, this is not my music, but I'm using this. I've significantly changed the source material. That's an important thing, which is always true for me. I always record my bass at a level that is not painfully above, but always very obviously above the original track for two reasons. One, I want the people who are learning from me to hear what I'm doing and really be able to discern what's happening. But number two, I don't want there to be any illusions that, hey, you're going to sit down and listen to my version of the song over the original version of the song, because I mix my stuff for, YouTube, like for laptops and earphones. If you start pumping my stuff through your car or a sub speaker, you're just going to get you're going to break your speakers, because there's just all the lower frequencies are just stooping on each other. But I know that the people listening to my music, or not my music, my tab videos, listening to this musical version of it, they're doing it for, their own purposes, and probably are going to go in and turn their own bass down anyway so that they can play along. Also, if you guys would like, or if you think it'd be helpful to have just a bass playing, like just the solo bass track, put those up, I'm happy to do that. I'm hesitant to try to do the removing bass from tracks, because I've had such terrible experience with that. There've been a couple people on the chat who are amazing at it. Might hit them up, but anyway, the Duke, that's my advice to you is, before you completely let go of your super hard work out of fear of a copyright strike, if you're doing a tab, you have absolutely every ground, every right to, stand up for yourself and say, hey, I did this for educational purposes. I want to help, spread education and awareness and, technique. No, like I always say, by all means, take the monetization. Totally fine. But I just want it to be out there so people can see it. If you go about it in that way and you don't do the immediate hammer of, no, release it right now, I know I'm right, you're dumb, that's the one that can get you in trouble. But if you do the longer 1 month, it can take up to a month review process, and you write a heartfelt thing, maybe put a smiley face, maybe not a smiley face, but be professional, be nice, the human eyes are going to read that and are going to be reasonable. And if you stick to your guns, and if you do multiple videos over time, just like my Cassiopeia video that got immediately struck, which was so frustrating. It's the first video I came back trying to do a tab for. Even though that happened, it was released within 48 hours, because that's part of the rules, is while it's under judgment, they're not going to penalize you. And then it was resolved within 4 or 5 days. And they said, oh, yeah, no problem. You can play that out there. We're taking all the rights, any ad you see on my videos is not going to me. So if my video made you want Taco Bell, give me some Taco Bell too, because I didn't get any Taco Bell. All right. Cool. So now, Mark, being a homie, said, do not forget to put your questions in the office hours channel, which is a wonderful point, because right over here, I'm just going to go ahead and snag this. Oh, I'm going to make myself a little smaller. And actually, I wanted to snag this. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. Yeah. So here's what we got over at the channel. It's a pretty great place. We've got our main channel stuff, general music, sheet music tabs, memes, talk a little bass. We'll check that out in here in a second. We've got our office hours right here. So questions, song requests. We've got Wake and Bass, topic brainstorm, and then all the way at the, and we've got our archive underneath here. The thing all the way at the bottom then is we've got our cinema, which we watched one or two Jackie Chan movies back in the day. It was pretty fun. I'll have to bring that back since I've got the theater now. Anyway, so let's jump into these questions and let's see what we got here, because I bet we got some from years ago. But we'll start with Mark, who not only reminded me, but put the first question in. So we'll go backwards here. Hello again, good sir. Hello. Got any tips for writing a jazz tune from scratch? Oof. It's a good one. My problem with writing tunes, I always feel crippled by, I need to think of everything at once. It needs to all come together, and and then I'm also afraid, I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna fix somebody else's stuff. I say to that, good. It's hard for me to take my own advice, but when you are thinking, I'm afraid of taking somebody's stuff or, riffing off this or doing something, no. Start with the vibe that you're going for. Let's say, just random jazz example. Let's say you're doing Take 5, which is a relatively well-known jazz standard. If you're into jazz, you would have heard of this piece. That's in 5/4. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's all sorts of ways people think about it in terms of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. People think I've heard arguments for that before. I didn't like it. Anyway, if we're doing something like that and you like that 5/4 feel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, and you like that feel, but you don't want to just steal Dave Brubeck, what you can do is say, okay, well, what about this do I like? Well, what do we have here? We got something smooth and then something poppy. Poppy, smooth, poppy, smooth, poppy, smooth. Maybe that's part of it you like. So then, let's say, for example, when you were listening to Take 5, you're like, oh, I like that time signature. And then you realized, no, I really liked that smooth to short transition. Now you can start goofing around with something you had before, or just not even thinking about it too hard, just pick a note. And now I'm going to try to do something with that idea of short and long. I would start with something like that. So now I've got this bum, 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 bum. Maybe something like that. And what I would do then is try to find something on the guitar, and I'll pull my guitar out here and just strum a little bit of what I would think to do there. But what was our note? That was a C sharp. What a awful key to play in. But if I found the C sharp, once I get there, I will go up. I will find that C sharp. Hey, there it is. What fret is that? Hey, that's the 9th fret. I'm gonna put my whole finger across it. And so this is a great starting point. I know you can't hear that. But if you're playing that right there, let me see. I'm going to do a little bit better for you here. Let me cut off my bass so I don't kill everybody on the channel here. And this is going to sound hilariously bassy. But if I have that bass line here of... that C sharp, I'm going to start off with something funky. And then maybe start changing these chords around, moving individual fingers, but only after I've recorded my bass line. So I'll just do this here real quick just to show you a little bit of my process of getting just general song ideas. Because, again, Mark was asking for jazz. Like, what do we do specifically for a jazz song? So if I got my metronome here, and let's get myself, that's too fast. Let's do 90. Okay, so now I'll hit record. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just say it's that. Hey, it recorded my voice too. That's funny. Okay, so now what I do is I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna loop this. So I know you guys can't see this right now, but all you need to know is that now I've got a loop. Ignore. There it is. There's our loop. So now that we've got that, again, I am not the cat to ask about music theory. At the end of this, we can analyze what we have, but I will not know going into it exactly what the chords are. I just like to use different shapes that I've learned. So starting, just like I said, on the C sharp. So, right there, what I did was very generic. Not very jazz. I'm sorry, I'm bad at jazz. But the structural ideas are the same here. Or the approach is the same, just with different style. So, with these chords, this is the best advice that I can give people as far as how to play funky and how to make everybody think you know what you're doing. If you hit these top 3 strings, slide up from underneath, instant funk. And then my favorite chord of all time is what I call the panic chord. It's a box shape. So in this case, it's 9, 10, 9, 10. It can be anything. It can be 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, whatever. But what that is, fully diminished. Which pretty much means there's no way for you to tell what these notes are supposed to be doing, where they're going. And because of that, you can move it anywhere. Sounds awesome. I think that sounds awesome. So, what I would do to end this little rant here, I would get a loop going. Start with the main vibe that you're going for, and I would start with bass, just to get some ideas, because then, if I don't like this, okay, I hate that. I'm gonna go down here. But I literally do that. I go through all the shapes that I know. So like a major shape, a minor shape, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. But I know the shape. I call that one diamond. The other one I call triangle. Be better than me, kids. But the main thing is pick one thing, loop it. Start from there, whatever that is, and just start riffing. The idea that music pours out of us onto ink or onto the internet or onto, reel-to-reel tape, whatever you're using, like as it is in its final form, is reserved for Mozart and maybe Bruno Mars. I don't know. That dude's pretty good at just like slapping out a #1 hit in about 25 minutes. Also, Timbaland. Timbaland just gold. He's gold. All right. Everybody's being so nice. Bluesy. Yeah, it's a little bluesy there. A little dissonant and mysterious. Yeah. That's what I like. I like minor stuff. Enough of this happy. Let's get minor. Okay. Hey, we got some more questions here. Okay. Good. I'm glad that was helpful advice. Been feeling inspired by Chet Baker lately and didn't notice until I started brainstorming melodies and realized I was sounding so much like him. Good, very good. Maybe I should try wearing my influences on your sleeve. Hell yeah, that's exactly it. So something I always told my students And I still tell my students, and I have to always remind myself, the best musicians, artists, poets, all these people are not reinventing the wheel. They are taking their favorite pieces of their favorite influences and putting them together. And the best artists, that fusion of material is the thing that everyone thinks is, oh, genius. How did they think to do blah, blah, blah. It's like, homie listened to a lot of funk music. Homie also listened to a lot of classical music. And now we get neo-funk. Like neoclassical funk. Oh, okay. That's a new genre. And that's just from somebody feeling like there was a lot of value to combine those two things together. Let's talk about what we do here. City pop, baby. What is city pop if that is not a mashup of the synthesizers of Europe mixed with the the zeitgeist mentality of Japan at the time with like lyrical content, things like that. You've got the Japanese folk tunes. You've got American pop form in terms of the chorus versus chorus, all that kind of stuff. It's a massive, massive fusion, of global ideas, and you can, pinpoint different people, Tatsuro Yamashita, all these guys. But I look at somebody like Hiromi Hosono. This is the best example of this. For those of you who do not know about Hiromi Hosono, go listen to Hosono House. The first track, Rockabye My Baby, that's enough right there just to be like, yeah, this is a great album. Well, what he did is he loved the Beatles. This is like 1967, 68, I don't know. He loved early Beatles. And he wanted to make his version of a Beatles album. He wanted to write love songs and, like really, really good storyteller songs just like them. And he did it all in his apartment, and he was not ashamed about it. He was just like, this is what I want to do. And people, didn't necessarily at first know that's what he was trying to do. They just heard his music and was like, whoa, this is so cool. It has this familiar quality of it, but at the same time, it's so new. Look at, what we just did with Tokyo Sniper. It's neo city pop. That is modern, modern versions of something from the 1980s. And the thing that makes it not just a copy stamp of, I'm just going to try to, remake music from the 1980s. Ryuichi, this band that does Tokyo Sniper, their mixing production quality is absolutely modern. It does not sound like old city pop. The mixing was different. The bass was much, much, much less. For as aggressive the bass of a role as it plays in city pop, they mixed it down. Nowadays, the bass is way more present, and they followed suit in their album where it's like, we want our musical content to be from this period, but we want our sound to have a modern sound. It's a very common thing in neo versions of music is, hey, I like what you were doing there, but let me tweak the EQ a little bit. I like this sound a little better. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Next question. Thank you, Mark. By the way, that was a fantastic question. Thank you for letting me go on a tangent like that for so long. Okay. Let's see here. What else we got in the chat here before I go on? Hey, what's up, Steph? Good to see you. Just, video of someone tuning the bass and the user doing the Stardar tuning. Start playing with semitones. I don't know that. I'll have to look up the Stardar tune. Give me a link or something. All right, we got something from T. ... Do you think 5-string basses were underutilized in city pop? Nah, I think they used them pretty good. They had their opportunities. Yeah, people, what I immediately think of is Shambara. He just didn't care at all. He's like, I don't want anything above E. Everything got to be lower. You guys want to do some B? Let's play everything in C. So I think they used it a fair amount. And to clarify here, with a 5-string bass, there are a lot of things to take into consideration with why you would want a 5-string. Because everyone's like, oh, it's so dumb. It's extra weight. It's, it's extra, jingle jangle that you have to fight, which is true. And it's like, well, if you're never going to use the string, well, what's the point of having it? One of my best friends recently saw a video online of a guy talking about this super famous bass player. I don't know if it's Carol Keys or someone who always played a 5-string and almost never played the 5th string. And when she was asked about it, she goes, yeah, I don't really use it that often. but I'll be damned if I don't have the option. As silly as that is, it's the truth, man. It's like if you're playing something and you are, wanting to do, like, let's say that you were playing in, oh, is this all turned off? Let's see here. Yeah, it's all turned off. Turn it back on. There it is. If you wanted to play something that's down here, and you're like, that's so jangly. That sounds like you were slogging through mud. And I love it. So, if you're Primus and you want that super muddy sound, it's nice to have. Also, if you're just like a little solo dog and you want to be going, it gives you that extra note up top to mess around with. It really is. There's no good, solid argument to have a 5-string. Really, there's no good argument. It's just one of those weird feel things that's just, the only thing that I can argue that's a actual, like, it's good to have is this. You can position yourself so nicely along any axis and always have a point to put your thumb and not worry about it. I also like having something to pluck back and land on. That feels awesome to me because now every note I pluck, I can aim for this thing underneath. It gives me a lot of relaxation and relief in my hand to just use my B string as like one of those zip lines that they put on aircraft carriers. That's why jets come in so fast and they catch them with the hook. It's like that. Boop. Catches. Hope that was helpful. Yeah, fun fact. Let's see here. Not Alex, but 5-string basses were only just starting out halfway into City Pop era. The first commercial 5-string bass, Yamaha BB5000, came out in 1984. Boom, there you go. It's exactly the kind of statistics and just excellence that I've grown to just love from our community down here. Yeah, that is a wonderful piece of information. I didn't know that, but the 5-string bass coming out in 1984 makes sense. Most of our City Pop, if we're really thinking about where our zones and our eras were, and again, I think I just said Hiromi Hosono wrote that album in 1967. That's totally wrong. He wrote that in the 70s. That was sometime in the 70s. But City Pop really doesn't kick off for us until about 77, 78. And even then, you're kind of talking about like early seeds of YMO or not Bread and Butter. What's that called? The early band that had like Tatsuro in it. Milk and Bread. Something like that. But yeah, we're talking late 70s all the way up until like 92, 93. That's my personal stamp of City Pop era. I'm sure you can definitely find examples earlier and of course later. But good fact, 1984 was the first time it came out, and but to put it in the zeitgeist, spirit of the times, everybody in Japan, if you were even half good, Yamaha was coming at you with stuff, just chucking it at you. I mean, Cassiopeia is the ultimate, I'm not going to say shill because they are awesome and they made it happen. Although there is an amazing video of Akira Jimbo talking, he's at a Warwick conference, which is my baby, talking about the 5-string Warwick. And he mentions in the middle of the video, real sheepishly, because the guy's like, so when did you first play a Warwick? He's like, oh, the first time I played it was I think it was like mid late 80s. It was the rock bass, it was one of the early versions of 4-string. And he's like, yeah, and it was just the body, because they make it all out of the certain wood. They have MEC pickups, certain sound, really nice. He's like, yeah, I really really liked it. And he's like, oh, but you never played one on tour? And he's just like, no, we had to deal with Yamaha. Real quietly, pretty much in so many words, was like, yeah, I would have loved to play this Warwick the entire time, but Yamaha was giving us so much money, we had to play Yamaha gear. So that's a common thing, and I bet that they would be pushing these kinds of things in there. So that was why I said, do I think it's underutilized in City Pop? No, I think once it hit the scene, Yamaha was pretty tasty to have everybody try it out. Cool fact, Dapper. Very, very cool. So the Yamaha BB 5000, 1984. Very cool. All right. Yeah, so Dapper is saying jazz basses were the sound for pop music over there for a long while. The sound of city pop bass is that Fender jazz bass. That is it. You can see Koki Ito. He's like the go-to bass sound. At least for like the super funky city pop stuff. But he got a super fat funky tone out of that thing. You can go look at somebody like Mitsuzuki Suzuki. Forget his name. I say his name wrong. Guy who wrote Misty Mauve. Something like that. Totally different sound. Still a Fender jazz bass. It's a great instrument, and they really loved that sound, and it worked really well for them. So, maybe, I guess I'm losing my own argument for a lot of 5-string. But I guess you don't really always need that B string anyway, so there you go. There you go. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, people talking about Chet Baker. Yeah, going back to a second, Mark. If you're listening to Chet Baker all the time and you can play Chet Baker licks, that right there is enough to get a job or to get people to listen to you, because that stuff's just tasty, 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 tasty. But yeah, keep working at it, and just you listen, you synthesize, you take one lick from over here, take one lick from over here, take one lick from me, then you got your own stew, baby. It's a good stew. Oh, people being nice in here. Let's see here. Here we go. E. Do I watch any anime? If so, what are some of your favorite series? Also off topic, but what is your favorite Junko Ohashi song or album? Ooh, all right. Good 3-part questions here. Let's see. Do I watch anime? Yes, I do. It has been a minute because I am trying to spend as much of my free time doing stuff for y'all and making my version of art. But I really, I grew up on Toonami, so my cat is named Tenchi after Tenchi Muyo. That gives you an idea right there. Love me some Gundam Wing. Evangelion, love that anime. It's just great story, great animation. Yeah, as far as newer stuff that I've seen, Attack on Titan is sweet, but I'm still in season 1. I feel the shame. That's how long it's been since I've really tried on anime. And then all my best friends keep trying to tell me One Piece, but I'm not diving into 1,000+ ep endeavor. And then my other homie called me and told me, no, man, they made a TV show. Just watch the TV show. No, that's how 1,000-episode series start. Starts with the TV show. But yeah, love me some anime from time to time. Good stuff. Great music, too. Yeah, favorite Junko Ohashi song. Man, it's just been so long. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't remember the names and exactly tacking down who had what. So instead of just talking out of my butt, let's just look up here, because I remember the Wiggly album where she's going whoop. She's looking all crazy. Is it called Magical? Oh, good hit. Where is it? I bet it's got some kind of crazy. Oh, is that not Junko Ohashi? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, shit, this is Crystal City? Oh, Crystal City, baby. Yeah. Crystal City for sure. I love that song. Yeah, she's awesome. Now I'm remembering. Thank you for triggering my brain now. Junko Ohashi. Dang it. This is what you get because I can't remember, or I'm not picking up the song. Yeah, let's listen to one. Let's see what we got here. Junko Ohashi. So I know that we did stuff on it. Yeah, I know I did Crystal City. Yeah, Crystal City was awesome. Oh! Why is my brain so soft and bad? I got smooth brain. Yeah, dude, Perfume. Oh, I love Perfume. Telephone? Who am I? I've lost all my cred is gone. Communication. That's the name of the album. Thank you, Gus. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes, Communication. That's a great album. What is wrong? Where is Communication over here? It can't be me. It's gotta be everybody else. Like the internet. The internet, bro. Oh, whatever. I would say my favorite one is probably Perfume. I really like this song. Yeah, look at that guy. Random side note about this song. Look how happy that little goofball is. Oh, it was hot in Texas. It was so hot in that little room. But somebody, I'm sure it's in the comments of this video here. Let me just see. Somebody made this music video. Oh, huh. Maybe I'm just a jerk and I didn't give. Oh no, I gave credit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. This cat, Mellow Groovy Sounds. So if you go to Mellow Groovy Sounds, everybody go check it out. This cat just makes music videos for City Pop. And hey, he's got new ones. Oh, hell yeah. Well, yeah, he's makes one a year. I don't know, and it's from like soap operas and stuff, but he always picks good songs, always slaps. Oh yeah, you see, I'm doing the same. You can't not groove to this song. Another thing I'm gonna be doing so that's my answer. Perfume. That's my favorite question. I also need to go back through and fix this because like a lot of this stuff is just wrong, man. Like, also, I don't know about y'all. This kind of makes me nauseous to look as it's going across like this because it goes like faster and slower. So that's definitely a project for me, is to go back through and like fix that up. So yeah, Bobby, check it out. It's a cool channel. Super, super cool channel. Ah, Sweet Love. Yeah. Yep. Man, Bob, you guys are reminding me of all this stuff. Yeah, this is so fun. This is so fun to hang out with you guys again. I missed you guys. This is awesome. All right, let's go back and see if we can wrap up here. I'll do another 10-15 minutes chilling out here since I started 20 minutes late streaming to myself. My cat's amazing. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. So, also boosting this up by me just hitting the enter bar because I'm just lazy. But that low B though hits like a freight train in a ballad. That's the truth, baby. That's why I keep it. When you play a 5-string, I do high C tuning. I love the ability to do chords and stuff. That is a great use of a 5-string bass, and I did it myself for a while. Is instead of going one lower, go one higher. It sucks because you always have to buy a 6-string pack, and you have to just get rid of the B. Although I guess you can just buy C strings individually online. If you want to do that for yourselves, I highly suggest it. It's very, very fun. You can get chords, all sorts of cool stuff. Get your action set up. It is worth doing. If you plan on doing more than just trying it out once, in fact, even if you try it out once, I still suggest getting the action set up, and not just the action, but the tuning. So what I'm talking about here, quick little teacher lesson here, is if your action is set properly, what that is referring to is how much energy does it take to stop a note properly. If I use too little, nothing. There it is. And then how even across the instrument is that? Is it gonna be the same amount of energy and distance from the string to the fretboard? So let's see how close I can get here. Yeah, and I'm using a wide angle lens, so it makes my neck look warped. Don't worry, my neck is totally straight. But do you see how my strings are uniformly above my fretboard? They don't, because a lot of times what'll happen is they'll be real close down here and super far up here because your neck is bent in. It's a real common thing that happens with warped necks if you live in a real humid area. So that's something to check, and then getting your harmonics or your tuning checked. And that has to do with if I play my, let's just say I'm playing open D, and I come up to my octave D up here. That's pretty darn the same D. Now, I know I'm just using my ear here, but if you put it into a tuner, it'd be like D, D, same D. What can happen though sometimes is this. I can artificially do it. Out here how that's sharp. That can happen even if you're just pressing very lightly, because the bridge, this thing down here, is not set up right, and it's going to mess up your harmonics. And no matter what you do, you'll never be in tune. No matter how many times you tune, there will always be notes and chords that just sound terrible, and it will drive you crazy. So that's a good $25 at Guitar Center tip for yourself. Or if you really have access, go to a luthier, however you say it. They will hook you up. That's a good one. Okay, from Steph for City Pop. What would be the standard to improve your bass in the mix? That is to say, this would not be the bass lines or some groove. It is more like a configuration that is used in the style of music around the bass in your DAW. Wonderfully specific. I love it right there. So how can I explain this? What would be the standard to improve your bass in the mix? My standard advice to automatically improve your bass playing over a period of time is equalizing everything out. What does that mean? Right here, I've got a low treble knob, a bass knob, a mixture knob. What that means is how much of this one versus how much of this one. Do I want them equal? You can control which ones you want. And volume. Now, this is an active bass. That means it has a battery in the back, a little 9-volt that just gives it an extra boost. So that can change how much your input is. Mine needs to stay pretty low. I keep it around 30-40%. And that's plenty of room to get that sound, but you can hear that distortion. Plenty of room for me to still make a mistake and sound like crap. The next thing I do is I turn everything even. I turn all the knobs to 5, essentially. So I'm getting perfectly even mixture here, a 5 on my treble, a 5 on my bass. And when you do this, now you hear your instrument. You hear yourself. There's a guy online named Scott, and he has Scott's Bass Lessons. This dude is super interesting. He plays with a white glove on his hand. Not to be Michael Jackson. He has what's called focal dysphonia, which is I think it's a neurological condition where it just happens, and it's the musician's nightmare. Where if you're saying, "I want my brain, move my first finger," sick. With focal dysphonia, you say, "I'm gonna move my first finger," and you move other fingers, and it's like you can't control your dexterity, with your fingers. And it has other manifestations too. But he wears this glove, and the pressure helps him have control of his hand. Anyway, you didn't need to know that, but this guy's super cool, awesome. He tells this great story about how he met, I don't know, I think he got Jaco Pastorius's bass or something, or he got to meet Victor Wooten and got to play Victor Wooten's bass that he recorded this whole album on. So excited, and he's like, "Oh man, this is the bass. It's gonna be, I can't wait. This is the sound of that album." And he said he played it, and he was so disappointed because it sounded like him. And he realized, he goes, "Man, that's when I realized that really good playing really has nothing to do with the instrument. It has to do with the player. And you can pull out anything from, crappy instrument." And that's absolutely true in the musical world. If you have, there's limits. If you have a Walmart first act piano, first act violin, you're not going to be getting very far. But, you don't need the best quality instruments to have a really good, unique sound. So when you're trying to improve your sound, or you're trying to copy somebody else's sound, start with this, because it's amazing what you can do with this. I'm not changing anything here. These are all in the middle, and I'm giving myself 30% here. I'm going to play some really smooth, ballad jazz. I want it warmer. I'm going to come up here. You hear how there's more bass? Because The further you are from the pickups, the duller it's going to be. The closer to the bridge, the more plucky it's going to be. So if I now want to do finger funk, I'm going to do a terrible job. I don't practice this, but that's where you would do it, is you do it down here. Or if you're doing finger strokes, way easier here. Much fatter too. So if you just think about using your fingers, this is going to be more treble, this is going to be more bass, and not everything has to be as hard as you can play it. Those three things will make a massive amount of difference in your playing. Because again, going real soft or popping and slapping. That is all accuracy. If I'm off, it's mud. If I'm on, it takes on a good quality. So technique is worth a ton. Now, if I need to change something, like I'm popping and slapping, I turn down my treble by a half of a point. I mean, like here's middle, half a point down. And it takes all that top out. I barely touch this thing. So that puts me more in the mix. So to answer your question, how do you sit better in the mix? Roll, don't add bass. No. Doing this, unless you really want that fuzzed, washed out sound, keep your bass where it is. Just turn down some of your mids, some of your trebles. It will make your bass stand out, but it won't totally mud everything into oblivion. I hope that's helpful. Did I answer that question at all? Let's see here. Now, talking about the DAW, same thing applies, and that is why I gave that whole explanation. When you're in the DAW, you're going to want to look at essentially the same things. Now, let me see if I can do this in a smooth way without breaking everything. Oh, well, that worked. There you go. So if we put Reaper underneath me. Hey, bud. What's happening? Oh. There we go. All right, so if I click on my bass, it's going to give me this window, and then I'm going to have to select this window. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to do a screen capture, aren't I? I apologize. This will be worth it. This will be the last thing we do tonight, y'all. Screen capture. I know it's here. Because it says window. Oh, display capture. There we go. Display. There we go. Ignore all of my messy things. Okay. So here we are now. Put myself on top. There we go. So now if we're looking up here in this top corner, so this thing is called Guitar Rig 6. How Guitar Rig 6 works is it is a amp emulator, effects emulator, shill. No, I bought this. They didn't pay me for this. Give me money, give me things, Guitar Rig contact. But this thing really is, it's about the best $100, $200, I don't know how much it is now, that you'll ever spend. If you want to try out thousands of dollars of pedals, amps, effects, and goof around for infinity. The presets here are out of control. So all these presets down here, I think it's 1,273 presets. That's nuts. Within that, if we look at the amplifiers, it has every amplifier that you could want. So Citrus is orange amp. Ultrasonic is Marshall. Van 51 is Marshall. Ultrasonic is some other British. Tweed Man is the Fender amp. Jump is, I don't know, man. They got Chicago, I think, is like a little blues driver. But what this is, the Bass Pro or Bass Invader is an Ampeg emulator, and I love Ampeg. It's so good. But if you look at this thing right here, what do I have on the general bass invader? This is how it natively comes. You've got a little more bass, a little less low mid, a little less high mid, a little more treble. What is that ultimately doing? You're adding the high in the bass, and you're cutting a little bit of the mid. That idea of taking away or adding more is always good. You never want to add and add, or very rarely do you want to do that. It's better to try to do things through addition and subtraction. So if you're looking to get a better sound, before you go boosting anything, go pulling things back. So if you use this as a general example, we're 6% boosted here, and then 6% minus here. We're 5% minus here. We're 13.5% boosted here. So it's quite a bit of treble boost in comparison to the others. But at the end of the day, that attention to trying to keep things even really, really makes a difference. I'll just show you what this sounds like if I take that off. So I'll turn this all flat now. So flat, 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 flat. It gutted my bass. It still sounds good, but the punch is just gone. So now let me just get this back in FET. So it got a little muddier. It got a little less clear. Again, that's my settings on my instrument here. But it gave that that punch. And that's what this particular FET bass, I don't know what that stands for. But that, all these presets were done by musicians. It's supposed to sound like Dimebag Darrell or whoever did that example. But this is a really punchy bass that I love. So that's my suggestion, is start with keeping things even, and then as you adjust things one at a time, very slightly off center, learn to control your fingers. If you're a player that still plays with a pick, great. I highly encourage you work up to using fingers, because it's just so many more options for you. But nothing can emulate or replicate. If you want that real driving sound, you can give yourself a little more treble. That kind of thing, or chords. Those kinds of things. Work with your pick to not have it just be as hard as you can play. Try using the side. Try using the tip. Try using it reverse. Try lower. That's a crazy sound. Try higher. That's really hard to do, but it sounds really cool. So, that is my suggestion. Keep everything EQ'd more or less in the middle. Start experimenting with your hands. Okay. Turn that off. Turn this off. Yeah. And go back to here. And then answer. Here we go. I don't think there has ever been another server died. Okay, dang. I hate to shill, but trying String Joy if you haven't. They do custom sets where you define every gauge. I like that. I'm gonna join you. We're all gonna be shilling a little bit of String Joy. If you haven't, which I haven't, they do custom sets. Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out, asking so many good questions. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Yeah, got my Reaper DAW. It's good free DAW for everybody. Guitar Rig 5, also excellent. Still, once you go to 6, you can't, and that's why I won't touch 7. It's because I know that it'll ruin 6 for me. They're good, man. Go check them out. They sound pretty good. And if you're a headphone baby like me, it's definitely worth checking out. All right. Thank you, y'all, for hanging out, for asking such great questions. I'm sleepy. I will be seeing you all tomorrow morning, bright and early at 9 a.m. for a little bit of Wake and Base. Still got to figure out that, topic. But that's what I'm going to do before I go to bed tonight. And I'll let y'all know. But as always, y'all are the best, absolute best community ever. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm moving. I'm slowly making my way to getting more material, more, get a merch store going, just getting more stuff going. It's happening. It's happening very slowly, but it is happening. And I thank you for your patience. And I love you all dearly. And I hope you have a wonderful night. And on the way out, I'm just going to play a little bit of that crazy grocery store song that I really like. And then wave until the stream dies. I did a whole thing at the beginning with this that I didn't record because, I did 20 minutes of a stream to nobody. Ugh.